Hi, Moran. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
Dominic.
This is a kind of how you say, reactivating or restarting of our podcast series, which we did already last year. Um, and this time we set the start to invite also other people into our podcast. We want to invite healers or coaches, which whom we are working already in Harmonic Path, but also other people's new people which we don't know yet, other interesting people. And we are also always very open to receive ideas from the community. If you know people who you had good experiences with or you think would be interesting for us, we're also very happy to receive these ideas. And I guess today we just want to talk a bit about what is alive in us in this moments, and see what comes next.
I saw something interesting on Facebook and about this period of time where it's winter, but usually in the time of Christmas and before the pagan holidays and the Jewish holidays, it was always about the light. There's always lots of light that is in the middle of the darkness because it's going to be the I think it's the longest, right? It's the longest night,
Yeah,
and
before
then
it
it
starts.
starts, yeah, and then it starts to be light again, and the Earth spin is making the day longer than the night again. So it's interesting how all the religions find some way to celebrate this specific day um, in the same period, at least in the North Hemisphere, because in the other side is summer. So uh, for them it's the opposite. Um, but it's yeah, and it was like a discussion about how each holiday is like has its own different symbolism and what happened, and but it's all about light coming back to the world,
Uh-huh.
and how it's always looks like the darkness is here to stay forever and it's so dark.
Yeah.
But it's just like one
Yeah,
last
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice. Uh-huh.
one last before it changes again
Uh-huh.
slowly. So I don't know. I hope if anybody is feeling a little bit that the life is not going the right way or things are doomed, then it's maybe it's
Yeah,
almost
but
over.
this is nice because as like maybe in many years ago when the people didn't have, I don't know, so much science or something, then it can seem that maybe if they don't do special things in a certain moment, it will never be light again. It will just continue to be darker. And so I imagine how it might be for these people, you know?
There were periods in the planet where it was darker, like the Ice Age.
Yeah, or some volcano
Yeah,
thing, or yeah.
maybe these cultures remembered specific catastrophes that happened, and they thought that it because it did happen. It's not like it's always the same. Yeah, maybe.
So if we don't do certain practices, then maybe it will be more dark and dark. Yeah, but I feel more also because like how can I say? I just had now different situations also in the work, and it was so interesting for me that I again felt, sometimes you enter in a room from two different sides, and someone has an idea and the other one has another idea, and then you start to meet, and then it's a bit sometimes there's some friction, and it can seem like not so pleasant. But if then I understood, if I can explain myself in the best possible way, like so authentic and full, then at least I feel already like better. And then also there, like always, what if you say light, friction is also bringing to light. So I guess it's all like combined in some way. And if there can be this authenticity, then I feel always that there will come the change, or I don't know how to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The friction creates the heat and creates the fire. So
Yeah, man. And now I just read this morning this article that they received some kind of waves, from some gamma waves, I don't know, from the very early beginning of the universe. And this kind of changes a bit the idea of how what we thought, because I think till now the concept was that it expands always more quickly. The
Hmm.
more the universe expands, it grows more quickly. And now this kind of findings say maybe that the universe is growing slower. So it had a peak of grown, and now it's growing slower.
Oh,
So that, I don't know, that was interesting. And also,
maybe it
um
will shrink again back.
yeah, so also, if you see this, like they had this graphic, I don't know if you saw it, that you have, I don't know, just the start, and then it continues, and at some point there comes dark matter, and in the galaxies, and how it develops, kind of. It's like a funnel, kind of. Yeah, so it would be interesting. Like, is there research, how if there is an end to it? Like, when would this be? If we, yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it will just collapse again and Big Bang again.
yeah, yeah.
But this interesting metaphor of the galaxies is the continuation of the video that I saw was um, that even like imagine you have total darkness, like physical darkness, you can't see anything. And he said that even one small candle is enough to make light, because you will suddenly see there is light. It doesn't have to be big fire to make everything um, white, right? But even like a small candle can light a whole big cave or a room.
Yeah.
So it's like also like a star, a million light years away, we can still see it, even if it's so far, even if it's so um, distant, because this darkness, I think in our culture, we look at darkness as something, but actually, darkness is the lack of light. It's not a something, it's a negative,
Hmm.
right? Or like coldness,
Yeah, it's the
cold.
same. I just had the same thought, that cold
Yeah,
is the same. It's just the absence of heat.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
the lack of heat. And then we don't think of it as some, it's not, it's a something because maybe we can touch the snow and we can touch the ice and we feel it's cold. But actually, it's because there is no heat. So
Hmm.
it's not like there are two opposite things. There is something and lack and the non-existence of that something.
Hmm.
So it allow the darkness actually, if you think about it, it allows the light to travel
Hmm.
because it doesn't block it. There's nothing there. So it the darkness that we fear, metaphorically, because there's nothing there, it allows the light to pass and reach us, at least in space, right?
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe it's a good metaphor
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah. Also, I see it more and more. Like, I had just, for example, yesterday we were at the beach, and there was someone fishing, and he took out octopus, I think they called it. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then I felt like a bit sorry for them, how they, like, on the beach, and they're still moving, and they, dying. How it might be, or just in the water, and then chuck, you're out and you're dying on the beach. And then I felt a bit like this. But I felt, I mean, the octopus tried to hunt something, and that's why he was caught and taken out. So it's anyway, like, and yeah, I feel the older I get, the more I understand this a bit. That I remember also, I talked to Pondi, that when I was a kid and I see these documentaries where, like, a tiger hunts a gazelle, I thought, how can they not help the gazelle? These filmmakers, they should help her. It was not, I couldn't understand it. And now I cannot understand how I thought at that time,
Mm.
that you should rescue the gazelle. But anyway, yeah, like, I always like this idea of right and wrong, and it's a bit like connected with this dark and light. I don't know yet, like, metaphorically how it's connected, but a bit it feels that sometimes, then or I do this, yeah, this is good and bad, but I don't know. Yeah.
Do you feel because you said as you're getting old, so do you feel this midlife point, or becoming 40 suddenly makes this changes, or you feel the time more, or it's just some perspective that you have?
I guess it's Yeah, I don't know. Like one point is that, you start as a kid and you get certain values, from your parents, from the school. Maybe you have feelings, but it would be interesting for me. I don't know, like where does it come from? Like let's say what we call, how it's called, like that. I feel sad if I see an animal maybe dying or something, because I remember maybe in the kindergarten there's kids who take out, the legs of a spider and they find it so funny, and then I remember the teacher saying it's bad, and I also felt it's bad, but so, like, we have these values and they get into us, and then maybe as we grow older we can find more our way, and not just, accept this, like, it's like that and that, but more it's like that, but and also like that.
The complexity, yeah, the
Yeah, maybe
complexity.
more the complexity. So I guess, like, the older you get, the more you're open to the complexity, maybe,
Mm.
or you see that it's not, good and bad, it's so clear, so there's more shades to it. And yeah.
Sometimes the lion has to eat,
Yeah.
or else there will be no lions.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes the octopus hunt the fish, and sometimes the fish is getting
The fish is the one who.
who catches the
Yeah.
octopus.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, we all watched this movie. No, did you watch this movie with the octopus teacher?
No. Is
Oh,
it nice?
yes. This is why a lot of people now are very caring about octopus.
But they eat pigs, or?
Yes,
Oh
but
well.
this, yeah, we need to send this movie again, the Babe with the pig. So it will be a new cycle of now it's not okay to eat octopus. Now it's not okay to eat pigs. Now it's not okay to eat chicken. Now, every few years somebody else gets to live.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, like, I always, I don't know. There's never a truth, no, because I heard also a thing, and there was this quote of, I think, a Russian author, and he said, when there will be slaughterhouses on the world, there will be war. Like, as long as there will be
Mm.
slaughterhouses on the world, there will be wars. And then I also thought, oh man, I don't know,
Wow.
because I eat meat. I think you don't, for example.
I
Yeah,
eat
but
fish.
I eat, and so where am I? I don't know, but yeah,
It is nature. It's still
yeah.
it's still nature. We're not. We are part of it. Even the indigenous cultures, like the most cultures in the world, are not vegan, right? They're not vegetarian, um, and especially not in large scales.
I guess the thing is this attachment, no? Like, I feel it sometimes also when we were now in this wild camping thing. I don't know, survival
Mhm.
camping with the kids, and then there was the guy, and he said, yeah, sometimes I go out with my bow and I hunt like the wild pigs, or I put up the traps, and then I felt, it's maybe then it's more, like all is a bit more normal, but we are more like in our like nice world, and then there's the slaughterhouse, like it's like, separated, and
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that
No.
is
So,
maybe.
but if you think like historically, if you want to become vegetarian or vegan, you need a lot more land to have the cows and the chickens for the eggs and the milk. You need a lot more space for agriculture because you need to have the lentils and the wheat. And this
Mhm.
came later in history.
Yeah, yeah,
First, it was hunter gatherer because this was the most immediate thing to do as a small tribe. You hunt, you gather what the food you have in the nature, and the agriculture
mhm.
revolution was a second step, let's say, and it's much harder to manage, and it's much harder to do it in large scale because you have to give certain people certain amounts and make sure that you have enough for next year, and you have to start
Yeah.
calculating all the. It's harder to be vegetarian. It's not human. It's not a human nature to do it.
Okay, but so it's also like with the, let's say, that you become more wise and calm in the mind. It's also harder to in
Yeah.
comparison with just
No.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not
Ah,
saying it's
but
not.
so then it's again like a pro
It's not.
for
It's
your
not that.
way.
It's not that it's not possible. It's not that it's not.
Yeah,
It's not that it's not human. I'm saying that this came second, and
yeah, yeah.
we cannot expect humanity to stop eating animals because animals eat animals, and it's not like it's just humans that are invented this. if we were the only animal to eat other animals, then I would say, hey, listen, something is wrong. Look around you. But other animals eat animals. So I mean, I don't think it's wrong or bad. I think that if you have some, um, it depends on your philosophy. It depends on your
Yeah, yeah.
spiritual
As
outlook.
always, no, I find this because that is what we talked at the beginning, no, like with the right and wrong, and with getting like understanding that things are more complex. For example, I had an interview with one funny guy in Germany. You know, he's this like pop guy. You know, he makes songs and is a bit like in the in this how you say gossip. You know, all of this. And so I had this image of him, Dieter Bohlen, it's called, and then he was in an interview, and I heard him, and he was so like sympathetic in some way, you know, um, and um, and then he said the thing is that they asked also, yeah, what do you think? Because in Germany they talk that the rich people should like that you should take the money from the rich people, you know, to like
Divided.
divide it and so on. Then he was asked, and he said, yeah, I'm really angry about when I hear it, you know, because I worked up, you know, I worked my way up, and I paid always the taxes like in Germany 40-50%, and now someone just say this. And I remember when I was younger, maybe then I was a bit like not attracted, how you say, like I thought, yeah, it's maybe a good idea, the rich people, why should not you like take their money and like, but and then you see, that also that's not so easy because he worked for his money. Why should now someone decide? And then even a friend, there's this video, we should share it then. It's very good, like from Ray Dalio, I think.
Okay.
And he looks like the different how it repeats in history,
Yeah.
the kingdom or the like, and that's always like that like a nation arises, and there's the entrepreneurs who bring the rise, and then at some point it starts that um, there's the kind of decline, and then it starts that the rich people are getting, so it's always this cycle kind of.
Yes.
But they were the ones also who brought the rise. I mean, you could say we should all be just meditating, and then we don't have all this stuff. So it's, I don't know, but just looking from this one side, it was interesting to see that maybe it's not such a good idea, to take the money of the rich people.
Yeah.
So
Somebody, so- somebody like he's like a channeler, channels information, and he said there will never be 100% peace, and there will never be 100% enlightenment, and there will never be, no matter how much spiritual evolution there will be, because he said, because the planet is like a learning school for these types of behaviors.
mhm.
There will always be a need for souls to reincarnate on Earth and experience war and injustice and hunger and disaster and politics changes and revolutions and technology and like so. If it's not going to be humans, it's going to be something else. But is
Mhm.
it because he believes that this planet is like a school for specific things that the soul needs to learn, and this is why it will never be perfect because it's meant to challenge you in different ways, and you cannot, and every time that somebody tries to fix it for the greater good, it destroys it in a different way.
Is this because I read once like a quote, like no matter what you do, it will turn into the opposite. Because I still try to understand.
I guess because you try to control something, you try to, there is a balance, right? It goes left and right, and you try to keep it only on the left or only on the right, and it will eventually go. It's just moving all the time, and if you try to keep it in one place, you can maybe wait more years until it goes back, but it will go back. I think even China, right? This is like the best example because it's the same country, China, but it was very communistic, let's say in the 60s, and now it's very capitalistic, just in a Chinese way. And it's the same country, and they still call it the Communist Party of the ruling party is like the ruling Communist Party of the people or something like this. But they're doing a lot of things that are super communist, super capitalistic, even though that the mindset is that centralize the decision making. So even the biggest like communist threat, everything is becoming, it's also changing inside, and maybe it will change again. Um, so it's, and some political analysis said that it's like you see all the students and all the left wing parties in America, let's say, is talking more about socialism and social justice and taxes and banning the control of all these multimillionaires and the companies that are controlling the Congress and so the West is becoming more social, the East is becoming more capitalist. So it's just changing,
Hmm.
switching and reversing every 100 years. I don't know.
So I
So
thought, okay, then we
yeah,
should try to not try, but then you try also. you know.
I
So what
think
to
that
do?
the what to do is the biggest question now. The Zen teacher that I follow in the school that I practice, he just says like it's just to create harmony. It's just to help, like not letting things become too extreme,
You
because
need
then
a
people
direction.
there is a direction to keep balance, to keep harmony. When things becomes more too extreme, then somebody
But this
suffers.
is like a very interesting, how to say. So harmony, we tend to think that harmony, and also we harmonic path, harmony is like, everything is nice, but maybe harmony is not this. Maybe harmony is just the, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
also meant to invite also the
it's
not
not
so
a
good.
perfect, yeah, it's not perfect balance. It's not 50-50. Harmony is changing, and it has place for, like, I always like to think, and one of my teachers said this, like in the music. In music, in symphonies, in classical music, the harmony gives space for every tool, every instrument, and you have the bass, and you have the trumpets, and you have the violins, and you have the drums, and every part has, um, as the symphony goes, each instrument has a different part, and there is a repeating pattern, maybe, that sometimes the violins are more strong, sometimes the trumpets is more strong, and sometimes the bass is more strong. But there is some kind of pattern that goes on and evolves with the music, and always, yeah, the bass is under and the high tones are up, and
Mhm.
you know. But every instrument has its place in the harmony, because it creates a bigger experience.
And
And if
also
you
it needs sometimes the tension to release the tension, no, but because otherwise it would be just white noise, kind of just the same. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
and boring, and then it's not going to be a genius symphony. It's just going to be one violin doing this, and and
Already, this
then,
is not like it should just be one,
yeah,
not even
maybe
moving. Yeah, yeah.
like a concerto for one instrument. And
Ah,
then
yeah.
maybe it's not so genius anymore. It's like anybody can just take a violin and do something. You don't even know what note are you pressing.
Yeah, okay, but I like it. Now I got a new idea that harmony is not this. How can I say? Like harmony is not. Oh, it's a good. I don't know. I need to think more about.
I give you
That you know
another
what I mean. That
example.
it's not like this. This thing where everything is.
This is why we think about nature. When harmony is in nature, sometimes the lion eats the gazelle, and sometimes the gazelle walks away. This is harmony because it flows, it changes, and it creates a balance, but a balance that is not fixed and static. It's a balance that sometimes you have more gazelles, sometimes you have more lions, and it changes automatically, and nobody needs to do anything. And then humans, sometimes because we do things that are too extreme or too powerful, then we create problems because we don't keep the harmony, especially with capitalism. Like there's always growth, ROI, investment, return on in. You always have to grow the company, grow the markets. Uh, it doesn't work like this in nature. If there will be too many lions, they will eat all the gazelles. There will be no gazelles, and then the lions will die because there will be no more food, right? And if too many gazelles are alive and not enough lions, then they eat all the grass, and then there's no grass, and then the gazelles will die because they don't have any food. So humans are not so good at keeping balance that is changing over time because we want to go linear one way.
Hmm.
And also, and another example that I heard lately from therapy, relationship therapy says like having an equal 50-50 household is bullshit. It's never going to work
Uh-huh.
because you cannot say that if you do dishes 3 times a day and I do the laundry, it equals to two laundry per day, and you do dishes 3 times, and
Yeah.
it's equal. It's
Yeah.
never equal because laundry maybe you do every 3 days because you don't need to do so much laundry, and dishes you do twice a day because you have more food. It's never equal. You need to find harmony between what what
So
you
harmony
prefer.
is like dynamic kind of. It's not a
Yeah,
fixed. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and it's not even 50-50. It's like I can do the dishes, I don't care, but you do the laundry. I don't want to fold long. And then it
Mm.
becomes a harmony because everybody's doing their part, not too much, not too little.
Yeah, and sometimes you need the friction again. But I mean, and like I read this Michael Singer book, and then he said the moment when we try or to not want something, like to block it kind of, or the moment we want something so much, or we keep a memory because we like it, or we want so much something nice food. So or we want not something, or we want something, always this creates this that it's not flowing, but
Hmm.
like that there. And I guess this, I come sometimes back to it. No, I mean,
It's very
I don't know.
Buddhist. It's very Buddhist.
Yeah, I guess. And then
it's
maybe
it's
it's
what it
it's
said.
more like this, the what also Pepper said, in the like the natural state, always to come back to the natural state, which is just like being in peace. And so yeah, this is then the part of the whole harmony thing. Like there's also the arousal. I don't know. Yeah, I guess there's no answer. That's it. There's
The answer is always changing.
Yeah.
There will be an answer for this week, and next week there will be a different answer because it will change now.
So what? Who said it with the question? I don't know. That said, I liked it. Like that. It's yeah, yeah. Always more the question. Yeah, like it was a business talk
The
actually.
question is more important than the
Yeah,
answer.
yeah,
No?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because then the question starts a process, and an answer try to stop. And yeah,
Is it related to your dream at all?
what
All
was the
these
dream?
topics, or
No, the dream was,
because I'm interested with the dream,
yeah. Um,
or maybe we will find a connection.
no, no. I'm trying to, like the. I feel that like the dream was, because I had insolvency 3 years ago, with the company, and now it feels like they're starting new things. And so I had one dream was that it was because the old the startup at the time was this platform for individual tourism. And so when we failed, um, there was insurance for the travelers. You need to have it as a travel platform. But the thing was, if I think, if the customer pays, he will be insured. But if the host didn't receive the money, he's not insured. But we didn't know it. So several hosts didn't get their money. So they were like, we were some of them really like not friends, but in like a relation in relationship. And so in this dream, it was, now that I want to start something new, I need to find a way, like how to deal with them,
Mhm.
and it's like that it's still there, and in some way it's still processed, like the guilt, or so that was the one dream. And then it followed some days later another dream where at first, like Milio, someone has had debts with him, I think, and then he said, it's not so bad. And then I was the guy who owned someone, and they followed me, and I tried to go away from them, but then they found me, and then they said, um, we sit down, and then it's just 10,000 euros, it's not so much. And then like it felt, that like it's still, because I feel like you always bring things with you,
Yeah.
like also if you don't think every day and so unclear, but anyway. And so I felt that it's kind of going out of the system in some way, like this guilt and this and that was interesting, that because it came like a serious, and
Mm.
yeah.
But it's also like if we look at it from the topic that we started spontaneously, it's allowing. it's also allowing things to die naturally, like allowing the business to die, allowing the relationship to die, allowing the money to go away because you owe it to somebody else, and not because it's your money. But if you owe it, then when you release the money, you also break the tension. Or if the company is not doing okay and you release the company, then it's allowing to do this cycle of going into darkness,
Hmm.
coming back to the light in the other side in a different way, or the relationships ending, so there's a new relationship with a different person, or like we said, with a company who is holding to the legacy product and it doesn't want to give up the legacy product, but all the market is already a different place, like what happened with Nokia, and everybody's already with the smartphones and the iPhones and Androids, and Nokia is still trying to sell these little things that they were not fast enough to let go and realize how the market is changing. And even countries that are obsessed about whatever it is, and everybody's already moving forward, and the country cannot solve. There are some countries that I know very countries that I know very well from personal experience, that are still arguing about religion, or corruption, or whatever, and all the world is already AI, solar panels, technology, 21st century challenges. In some countries are still like basic things are not settled because they're not letting go of these old ideas or traditional or culture that are pushing them back. And and, and so, while some countries are very good at keeping tradition and technology in the same time, like Japan and Korea, they can be very traditional but also very technological, and it doesn't contradict the story of who they are. So it's always interesting to see how, yeah, some people in some countries are holding, like I said, like holding to this, like we have to keep being this, because if we don't do this, we will fall apart and we will not be ourselves anymore.
Hmm.
And then eventually it will collapse, I guess, or the new
Yeah, I mean, but
generation
as
will.
we said before, it's all part of the harmony in some way. I don't know, like I like it now, the harmony idea that also,
If
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's also in some way part of the harmony.
it's
Like
part of
because
the
sometimes you need,
bigger harmony.
yeah, but also sometimes you need to stick to, you know, like otherwise you're just nothing, if you don't hold to anything. But I don't
Yeah,
know, it's now but yeah, it's part of the
maybe
harmony.
maybe the country is not harmonious on its own country, but on its own,
Yeah,
let's
but in
say,
the
in
big
the
process,
yeah,
in the
in the
big
big
picture.
process, we need this country to be this harmonious because it balances something else that is and then, like, the people, family, culture, society, like maybe it's like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
like we
Yeah,
are not.
but also this, no, like with the, yeah, like the, I liked it when Peppa said that we come all to the world with a kind of, how is this, configuration,
Mhm.
and it's just to not get stuck too much, like in the things. So let's say, because I asked her, but if everything, we should just be not caring about things. Why do you make makeup? I don't know if we talked about it. No, because why do you wear nice stuff? And then she said, yeah, because I come with a certain configuration, and but I should not go to extreme, not
Okay.
get too extreme with my beauty and so on. Then because then I'm like too much attached. But maybe someone else, his configuration is more like a monk. So then it's, but mine not. So I would not be a good monk, maybe, I don't know. But I like the idea a bit that it's not the one thing for all, but everyone comes with a certain configuration and can find his way and not be too much attached. So I guess it's a bit part of this, but also the idea that there's this like sometimes, let's say we are a couple, no, like, and then there's some worldly things like taxes and this thing, and then there's the other meditation thing, no, and then maybe the one role is come, let's be calm, so that is the one. But sometimes also the other person need to be to say no, no, but we can maybe someone took money from us which is not correct. We need to like investigate and fight or whatever. So I
Yeah.
like this also, no, that it's more to help each other, not in that one part.
You
Yeah.
remind me of a TED talk that I saw a few years ago. It was a psychologist, and he was making fun of humans because he said like,
It's the best.
yeah, because he said like exactly what we talked about. Like the lion doesn't go wake up in the morning and he says, "Oh, what it means to be a lion today. Maybe I should be more like rah. Maybe I should be more focused on sharpening my nails, or maybe today I'm vegetarian. Maybe I don't want to hunt and I just want to eat the grass." And or the zebra is like, what it means. How can I be the best zebra in the world? Maybe I have too many stripes. Maybe I should remove a little bit of the stripes so I can be a better zebra. And they don't think about who they are, what they are, because they don't have this self-conscious like we do, but they have less trouble of this depression and anxiety and who should I be and how should I do and what should I, because they just do whatever they need to do, but this is their instinct. And we are born, I like this, what she said, that we are born with a certain configuration, because it's true. You see some kids are, when they are born and even when they're 1 year old, they're already different than their
Mhm.
brothers, sisters, cousins, friends. They have different personality. But then somehow, so, I don't know, society or parents or school system is telling us that
Mhm.
you should be this, you should be this, and then we are get confused.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
who should I be today? And then we don't have the inside harmony of this was already okay before,
Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah.
and now we need to go back. Maybe this is what happens, maybe this is what happens after 30, 40 years.
Mhm.
Then we
Mhm.
kind
You
of
get
like,
more to the original configuration in some
yeah,
way, but you can also get stuck in the other path, but you can also be more
you're more,
acceptable, or yeah.
yeah, you can be more like, okay, I'm an adult, I have my money, I have my house, now I can choose whatever I want. Maybe I am not who I was supposed to be because I get all this shit from life, and I can start cleaning. Like half of the half life of the first half, you start taking shit from other people, and then the second half you start removing shit.
And hopefully not giving this shit to other people,
Yeah,
but removing it, because
you
I
have to
feel that it's not an easy road, yeah.
you have to give a little shit to your kids, so they,
It's not, yeah.
so
You
they have
will
a
give
little,
automatically, it's
yeah,
not
yeah. So they have a
unfortunate.
good challenge, so they
Yeah,
can,
but also fertilizer, like if you put
yeah.
the shit in
So
the
they can
ground,
have a podcast in 20 more years and talk about the father from the podcast.
yeah, and how
But this is
he bring the, yeah.
this is why it's interesting, because we record this conversation, and maybe let's say in 20 more years you want to watch it again, or Millie wants to watch it, your other kids will, and they will see, oh, my daddy was like this before and now he's this asshole. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
like the old
maybe,
stubborn guy.
yeah, or maybe he's amazing, but before he was a shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you don't need to tell them stories. You can just play the podcast and they see who you are.
It's
Like
anyway
in,
better to not talk to the kids, but
yeah,
show them video, no?
no, because we look, sometimes we look at old photos in black and white photos, and somebody has to explain, oh, this was live, because you cannot explain it.
True, now it's more visible.
Now it's
That's
like,
true.
oh, see, this is who I was when you
Oh, but it
were.
would be interesting if then there's like a 3D animation directly in the brain, and so then they see the 2D video, It's maybe the same.
I think the
Yeah.
worst thing, because I know it's already, I've read some, some businessmen are very smart, and they say, oh, so when somebody dies, you just record, you take all the videos, all the text, all the voice messages, you record it, you create some AI version of
Hmm.
themselves. You can still talk to them after they die. And maybe you put it on the grave. So you go to the grave, there is a computer, and
A
it's like,
QR code, yeah.
and then they never die. You always talk to them. And this is creepy,
Yeah, yeah.
but I guess
Yeah,
it will
because it again, like the cycle.
it will happen. I'm sure it will
Yeah,
happen,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because people will want it. But it is creepy, because then, like, okay, move on, let go,
Hmm.
or at least learn how to channel spiritually with it. Talk to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Oh man, Moran.
Uh,
So we
yeah,
discovered
we
some
reach
areas.
we reach some climax. We leave. I
Yeah,
think.
man, nice. But that was nice. Maybe we should do it that always from time to time also we to talk.
Yeah, of
So
course,
not
of
just
course,
to interview others, yeah, because I
of
like it
course.
always. It's
But
always fun.
yeah, expect new people, new voices, new opinions,
Yeah.
and then maybe after a few times we go together again and we talk about the other people, what
Exactly.
we learn from them, and
Nice.
it will
Let's
be
do it.
a good cycle.
Yeah, man. Okay,
Okay.
so harmony to all, or I don't know. Bye bye.